And we're going to move now to our first South Australian team, Anomaly, which somebody on the call here might know a little bit about.
A bit.
We've got Zeph, Happy, Wolfie, Axiom, Crow, and Pendragon. They finished exactly where the Sinks list predicted them to finish, in 21st place. And looking at their stats, they had 3 players that performed on a GRC level pretty well. What can you tell us about how they played this week?
You go first, Four Eyes, then I'll let you know if
no
you're wrong
pressure.
or not.
Jeez, no pressure. Can I turn my camera off, maybe? No. Again, don't recognize a lot of the names on there. I do apologize. I've been out of the scene for a little bit, but in terms of their play style, a lot of them, I think the majority of the team were working really well together, but there's still a couple of people that, quite inexperienced and just kind of bringing it up the rear, I guess you could say, but with a little bit more guidance, huge potential for the team. I could probably say that about every team on the bottom 8, but when it comes down to it, this is definitely one of the ones I want to see returning, whole team, because they worked relatively well together. Again, a lot of things that's going to let teams down and at this type of competition is just lack of experience and lack of playing, really. So the more they play and the more they work together as a team, the results are going to speak for themselves. Even individual results, they played quite well individually. I had quite a bit of trouble against Happy and Crow, so I try and avoid them as best as I could. So it means like trying to sneak around them and stuff like that. And that's good team.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what you say about the lack of. They just need a bit more time together, because Anomaly was actually, of the 5 South Australian teams we sent this year, was the last one that got finalised, I believe. So they probably had the least time out of all of the South Australian teams to be playing together. Also of note, because we didn't have a team cap this year, for those not in the know, we were able to send as many teams as we like, hence the 5 teams. Normally we would have only been able to have 3. We wanted to fully take advantage of that, especially given like the proximity of Bendigo to Adelaide. So we did, we basically sent everyone, that was able and willing to go. So of note, Pendragon has only been playing 4 seasons of League, I want to say. So yeah, and it kind of shows, obviously, like once you get to a Nationals, like the experience is at the end of the day most of the time what kind of does you a lot of favors, I guess. So Pendragon was by far probably one of the most inexperienced South Australian players we had going this year, but I'm still super duper proud of all of our SA squad.
Should be, man.
It's a pretty daunting thing, but they rose to the occasion, and Pendragon's always got like a really good attitude, which I was really impressed with. Always like really positive and stuff. So also of note, I think Happy has played quite a few seasons of League now, but he only recently started coming to the Nats trainings, which at least in South Australia there's like quite a massive jump in terms of like how hard it is between Nats training and League. But Happy's in my mind one of the up and coming players we have that has the potential to be superstardom. He's only 15 years old, if you didn't know.
Oh, and wow. I didn't know that.
You wouldn't think. You'd think he'd be like, I don't know, like 17, right? But no, he's 15 years old and he's already like 6 foot plus, left-handed, really lanky. So, we might have our own husky growing in South Australia, perfected in a vat. Got a lock of his hair from the previous Nationals. No, Happy's really good. And we've been always really impressed with Happy.
He came out with the GRC of 1.08, which is, for a person who's just started, essentially, so they've been playing, just over a year of League or something like that?
I think he's been playing a year and a half or so of League from memory, yep.
that's just, it's a massive jump up for Pendragon and for Happy, a massive jump up to go from that to the Nationals. So to be able to achieve a GRC of over 1 is quite incredible. And then you had Zeph at 1.09 and Wolfie at 0.9. So 3 players who are all averaging just over around the 1 GRC. There was only, I think, 2 teams in the top, in that bottom 8 that had 3 players in that realm. So yeah, it went to show that they had some really good performances. Obviously got some really good results throughout the week.
Just quickly before I forget, Zeph will kill me if I don't mention it. So talking all about the the very limited experience of Pendragon and Happy, Zeph is a player that's only played maybe 2 or 3 seasons of League, and he is actually a professional Counter-Strike esports player, and so he quite frequently has stuff on our Monday nights which prevents him from being able to train. And in spite of all of that, he's another one of those up and coming players that if he's able to find the time to fully commit to it, he'll be insane. He's on the topic of not having much experience and time to play and stuff, he's extremely impressive in that regard. And as I understand it, so Axiom was the in-game leader for the team, and then Zeph was their opening attack or opening batsman. Once Zeph had bases, or if they started struggling, Happy would be the next in line, and then Wolfie would be the next in line, and then Crow, and then Pendragon. So yeah, I guess I have to talk about them because they're my boys, but Axiom also another player that's extremely impressive to all of us. He's got a really good attitude, mentality, very humble, maybe a little too humble. He needs a little bit more, but another player that, relative to a lot of the other South Australian players we have, is very inexperienced, probably year and a half of League, and then half a year to a year of Nats training. He's done very, very well for himself. Very proud of Axiom, and he's a pretty imposing player to come up against. I'm pretty sure he's actually taller than the wall, which is crazy. But once he gets a little bit more experience under his belt and learns how to move a little bit more crisply, I guess he'll be a super scary player to come up against. Yeah.
One thing I was going to add is especially with these guys, a lot of the time I just catch them. I just catch them out. They would just be, I guess, unaware that somebody could be there, and it was usually me or one of my teammates that would just catch them looking the wrong way at the right time or something like that. And like you said, once they get their movements down to an art, that's going to be quite a scary team to come up against.
Are they going to stick together, Holmes?
It's kind of early days now. I'm not actually sure. South Australia's taken a bit of a break. I think we're actually starting to train next week. So I haven't really had any chats with anyone. We haven't done a post-Nats review or anything. So I'm not sure. I think at the very least, pretty much all of them will keep playing. So remains to be seen. We never know what happens with teams. There might be a couple roster changes. It might be a bunch of the teams completely swap. It's early days, so I don't really know at the moment. I do hope they stick together because they've got a lot of potential. I know they were really disappointed with their performance because they had some really high highs, but they also had some lows, just to do with some, just that lack of experience. Going to a nationals, tensions can get high. The pressure can get to you a bit. But yeah, I very much hope that they stick together because I think they can get really, really good.
Is there any final words, lads, on how they can move into the next tier if they do decide to stay together?
From me, just keep playing, keep practicing. Depending on what they do as a team. It'll all start meshing together once they pass over that that year mark as a team. Everything will just start connecting, and you'll get used to your teammates being where you need them to be at a certain time without actually having to communicate to them too much. But yeah, a great team. Yeah, real nice guys too. They'd always come out saying good game, or good take, or good shot and stuff like that. I love playing against people like that because I do that myself. Well, I try to anyway. Other times I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, no, great guys. I would like to see them keep playing together too. Yeah.
And Holmes, anything you want to add before we move on, my friend?
Nah, just real proud of you boys. Hope you keep playing. I did have a bit of an intervention with them at one point during the comp because they were like really like frazzled and like completely confused on what they were supposed to do like strategically. So I guess repeating a bit of the advice I gave them then, which is a lot of the times like the best, most effective strategies are like surprisingly simple, and it's all about the execution of them, and like the not making mistakes is bigger than a lot of things. It's easy to go crazy on like the theory crafting and looking at the map and looking at all the angles and all these really specific things you can do, but at the end of the day, once you're in there, adrenaline's flowing, tensions are high, like the pressure's on. It's the simple strategies that win the day, and more than the simple strategies, it's the macro skills that your team shows, like your ability to panel and position properly and communicate as a team and stuff. So yeah, you just gotta keep playing, boys, and you'll be a pretty crazy team before long.
Awesome. Yeah. 2 6-foot+ players, including a lefty. There's been another pretty successful team who have used that as a blueprint for success. So.
Just while on that, no, I just remembered. I came up between the both of them in one of the corridors, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, I don't belong here. Sorry, I came to the wrong neighborhood. I'll just be taking my leave.
Get Mum on the phone. Mum, come and help me.
Come pick me up.
Yes. Well, best of luck to the Anomaly guys, and I really hope you guys stick around because I'm looking forward to seeing these young guns next year when I come back. So, well done to Anomaly, and yeah,